Hey, what up and welcome. I am Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer from South Africa. This is my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about designing a business card. In doing so, I will teach you a lot about Corel Draw, and also I'm going to share my 10-year experience in design and printing industry in general. Without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. The first thing, we need to build a rapport. You need to get an understanding of who am I, what I believe in, and where I have been. Obviously, this is not enough, but this might give you an idea of where I have been. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna talk a little bit about me. I'm going to try to be brief. I'm not going to stay in this section since there is a lot of things that we need to do. But I just want to give you an idea of where I'm from. Sorry about that. Okay. So as you can see here, I was working for a printing company. It was some sort of long time ago. In printing, not only I did the design, but also I was an applicator. So meaning that I can wrap cars and also do some vehicle branding, as you can see here. Okay. So this is the younger me, obviously in a printing company, a printing franchise, Jetline here in South Africa. So here I was working as a designer, so doing also the finishing. As you can see here, this is me do what I do best, also applying vehicles. Okay, so let's quickly jump to what I think matters the most. Okay, so also I've been designing for vehicle wrapping. So as you can see here, this is the vehicle that we are about to wrap. Okay, this is the process. As you can see, the actual body of the vehicle was silver. So these the applicating guys, they are busy with it. But this is me doing the design. As you can see, this is the design aspect of it. And also here, these are the diagrams that I use to communicate with the applicators, telling them that this is going to be the first panel and everything. So as you can see that as much as the vehicle might look as if everything was printed at once, but that's not the case. So you print your the vinyl in more like panels. So you have to partition the panels. Okay, as you can see here, I'm showing communicating with the applicators how I have made the design. And also, as you can see, this is some sort of my rough sketch behind the scene what I do. Let me just twist it. Okay, yes, let me just twist it, flip it. Okay, so you can see this is my behind the scene. Okay, trying to plan and lay out everything, because with large format print, once you make a mistake, obviously it's a huge cost. Okay, so I think this can give you an idea of where I come from. And lastly, I once wrote a book on graphic design. Okay, so also I'm busy writing another book on graphic design. Okay, so enough about me. I think you get an idea of who am I, where I've been, and also what I can do. So let's just delete everything around here and let's get into business. Okay, so in this course, as I've said, it's going to be centered around designing a business card. Without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. What is the first thing that you need to know about business card? Okay, number one, you need to know the sizes. Okay, so the sizes that I think I have been using it as a standard size. I'm not sure about maybe other places in other countries, but around South Africa, this is more or less like the standard size. It's 90 by 50. Okay, usually referred to as 9 by 5. Most importantly, okay, when I'm clicking here, let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see what's going on here. Let me just click undo. Okay. Okay, so this is A4, like a normal size paper. Okay, so when you click here in the space, then you have a chance to some sort of change the dimensions of your paper or the canvas. So the width, I want the width to be 90, and remember we are using millimeters in terms of the units. Okay, so 90 by 50. Okay, as you can see, here is my paper. Okay, so this is the first thing that you need to know about designing a business card. What size are you designing for? Okay, obviously, um, business cards come in different sizes. Okay, then one might ask, why must the business cards like come in different sizes, whereas maybe when you are looking at them in real life you might feel like they are more or less like the same. What's the variation, or what's up with the variation? Okay, some time ago when I was designing a business card, obviously I have used my own standard version of the business card. The client came back to say that this is not the standard version of business card. And I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. And I smiled and I asked him, what determines the standard of a business card? According to him, he said, I wanted you to design a business card that will fit on my wallet. Okay. So, assuming that 90 by 50 doesn't fit in a wallet, obviously it might happen it's 90 by 50 that fits on a wallet and the other one doesn't fit. But I'm just giving you an idea as to why there is some sort of a certain variation in terms of business cards. So some business cards are smaller because they are supposed to fit on a wallet. Okay, so enough about that. So here we are using like 90 by 50 as a standard business card size. Okay, so what's the next thing that you must consider? Number two, you need to have an idea. Remember, when we are designing a business card, we are not designing it for fun. That's the difference between, let me call us the layout artist, people who work in printing. To be honest, in printing, we don't do much creativity like the digital guys or the Photoshop artist, those guys who design graphics for screens, for social media, or those guys who specialize with Photoshop, okay, who are very good on manipulating photos, okay. So us as layout artists, primarily designers for printing, number one, we design for output, for something that it's for finishing, let me call it that way, because in printing we call that department finishing, where you trim the paper or the business card. So we are more focused on the actual product. With that being said, it means that you need to know where are you going to trim your business card. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click this rectangle. I'm going to double click on it so that it can appear here on the screen on my canvas nicely. So the reason why I'm doing that, I want to be able to use my guideline. Okay. These are called guidelines. Okay. So you can pull them like this and then you click undo. Okay, you can pull and click it and press delete to remove it. So I'm just pulling my guideline. These will help me as I'm designing to have a picture of where are the edges of my business card size. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the video until the alarm thing is silent. Okay, it's much better now. Okay, so as you can see, I have used these guidelines. Uh, Okay, I have used these guidelines to get an idea of where are the edges of my paper, okay? Which that is the first thing, okay? And the other thing with printing, this is how it works, okay? Whenever you are designing something, it's always the case that you have to make it a little bit bigger than your actual size. Okay, as you can see, this is bigger than the actual size. The reason is the finishers are going to use a machine called a guillotine, okay, which it has got a big blade. The machine defines size, and they will trim your business card into its own actual size. Okay, they will trim something like this. Okay, you design it a little bit extra. Okay, we're going to talk about the measurement a little bit extra so that the finishing guys can just trim it to size. Why must it be trimmed to size? Okay, let's just quickly go to the technicalities of the machine. Okay, so as you know that if you are feeding a paper into a machine, there must be some clampers or small wheels that are some sort of pushing the paper into the machine. Okay, so let's say we've got a wheel here, okay, a wheel here. Okay, this is a wheel. It's responsible for some sort of it spins to push this paper through or to feed it into the machine. Okay, because of that, it means that the print head, okay, let's say this is the print head. Okay, so let's just assume that the print heads move up and down. So as it moves up and down, okay, it sprays the ink on the paper. It cannot reach here because here there are clamps and the wheels. So it means that as it moves up and down, if we can feed the exact paper, meaning that this paper will have a border, some sort of a white border here, because the wheels, this was more like the track of the wheel. So meaning that if we are saying that this is the actual size of the business card size, we will have a white space around. Okay, so in printing, this is how we solve that problem, because we need the wheels. We can't have a machine that doesn't have the wheels. It means that it won't feed the paper into the machine. So to solve that problem, we always print on a bigger paper. Let's just assume that we are accommodating the wheels, okay, so that the wheels can be here. Okay, then it means that our print head can be able to some sort of print from here, move from here until it reaches where we are going to finally cut the business card. That means it will print all over the place. So let's just assume that this is the printed area. Okay, as you can see, now the finishers can come and cut this part out to make sure that this has is now the actual paper, the bigger paper, it's being cut to size, and we call this part of the production process finishing or trimming. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. So meaning that now we need to always our design need to always overlap. So what's the measurement of how much must it overlap? Okay, for me, I used to use 3 to 4 mil. Okay, but 3 millimeters used to work for me in terms of overlapping. Okay, I use 3 millimeters. In case maybe it must be more, I usually go for four, and that's it, not more than that. So this is 3 millimeters, as you can see. So I'm going to use the guideline again to give me an idea of where my 3 millimeters end, as you can see. Okay, this is outside. Okay, I think in web design we can call this a margin. Okay, which is a gap outside the actual area of interest. Okay, and then okay, so we can take this and put it here. Okay, and then from there, obviously this doesn't have to be precise as long as your artwork will overlap. Okay, then one might ask, why don't we make this overlap very, very big? Obviously, remember, we are also in business, so we want to make money, so meaning that every excess of paper or ink, it's a waste of money, because you are going to cut this and throw this away. So at least you don't have to make some sort of a very, very, very big space. Okay, and then from then, after this what can I say, after these margins, okay, and then we need some sort of a print safe area. In web design we can call it a padding. Okay, so we need a print safe area, so we do the same thing. Okay, you put this here, we put our guidelines. Okay, this means that your artwork, more especially the important aspect of your artwork, your text, something that must be read. Okay, images are not a problem, but in terms of text, it must always be inside this area. Okay, it must always be inside this area. Okay, okay. Since I've said in web design we call this margin, in printing industry we call this a bleed. Okay, meaning that your artwork needs to overlap a little bit. I will show you what I mean by overlapping, because there is a certain content that needs not to overlap. As I'm saying that the text, which is something that's going to be read, it must be inside the print safe area, and pictures and background and other colors, things that if you cut it, it doesn't really matter, then it can overlap. So the bleed is for some sort of overlapping the background. Okay. Now let's zoom out. Okay, so now this is what we have. So when you design a business card, you always have something like this. So for our case, let's just bring this up front. Okay, let me just say sorry. Let me just right click and sorry, that's my mistake. Let me say undo, undo. Okay, delete this one. Okay, I'm going to let me do this instead. Let me move this so that when I double click here, I can see that rectangle behind, and then I can right click on it and order and bring to the front. Okay, then center this by pressing P. Okay, so I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to go to any color, a red one, and right click instead of left clicking so that I can change the color of the border. Okay, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lock this object, right click and lock it. Okay, because I don't want to touch it. I'm not interested in touching it. As you can see, this one we can touch it, but that one we cannot touch it. Why do we have that? In case of this tutorial, it's there to guide us so that we can know where our page ends. Okay, so this is very important in printing. This is very important in printing because first of all, it makes your work looks professional. Okay, and also as a printing designer, if you don't know these things, then it becomes a problem. Okay, so as I've told you that us, we are interested in the finished product. Our design might not be that good, as you might have noticed that print designers, even though they might not want to accept it, but I have grown to accept that we are not that good in designing, but we are very good in some sort of the technical aspect of things, like how are you going to see it, the finishing, does it look good, can we to prepare it for press. So we are good at that. Okay, so as you can see, this is where we are. This is good. Now let's continue. What else? The other important thing to know, in fact, okay, sorry about that. There is a disturbance. Okay, guys, sorry for that. Let's continue. So, the other important thing as a designer, it's a layout. I think also digital designers will relate to this. It's not only the concept for print or layout specialist or print designers or production designers only. Okay, so a layout, it's something more or less like this. Let's say this is the company name here. Okay, let me just do different shades of gray. Okay, let's say this is a company name here, and then there's an image here. Okay, okay, let me say undo, 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 undo. Okay, Control CV. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, let's say we are having a picture here, and then okay, and then we are having some small text here. Okay, let's say small, 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 very, very small text here. Okay. Sorry about that. Something like that. Control D. Okay, zoom out. Okay, undo, copy and paste. CV. Okay, I'm starting to notice something, but I will fix it as time goes by. It's been a while since I've used Corel Draw. Since I've transitioned or switched careers to front end development or user interface design. So I've been using Figma for the most part or lately, and then I'm starting to lose track of Corel Draw shortcuts. Okay, so let me press C to center everything. Okay, so that's why some of the commands I think I forgot. I'm pressing like Figma commands here on Corel Draw. Okay, so as you can see, let me just put one last thing. Okay, CV. We're going to post one last thing here. Okay, let me do something like this. Okay, as you can see, guys, a layout is something like this. Okay, I think it's one of the guys who was like sort of a modern. He's called the modern advertiser. He's very famous in the advertising space. His name is Ogilvy. Okay, he has this very interesting quote. Give me a freedom of a tight brief. Okay, let's say whatever that you are going to do, somebody will give you a brief of what it's expected of you to do. And it occurs maybe the most in graphic design, maybe in advertising. A client will brief you as into what are their expectations. So Ogilvy, what he's saying in the code, give me a freedom of a tight brief, is that the more you give me a brief that is tight, that is straight to the point, that doesn't really, it's more like it's limiting, the more he will get the freedom. I think the whole concept revolves around satisfying client. If the client is vague, chances are you might get things wrong because he's vague. He will say, I need a business card. You make a green one, he said, I need a yellow one. You make a bigger one, he will say, I need a small one. But the more the brief becomes tight, the more the client explains in details, okay, the more you gain a freedom in a way, because you are going to give him exactly what we want, and then maybe let's say you can get a freedom of doing other things, so you can quickly finish and get the product right. Okay, so in terms of design in general, okay, the same concept applies, okay, as much as designer, since design is close to art, okay, obviously the other person might argue that there is no difference between graphic design and art. Okay, so as much as graphic design is close to art, and art it's more like a self-expression, painting, you paint whatever that you want to paint, however you want to, okay. Graphic design has got some certain limitation that it's imposing, like upon a professional designer, something like a layout, okay. So as much as I'm a graphic design, I want freedom, but there is some sort of a tight rule around design, and one of those, it's the layout. Okay, things must be arranged, a graphic design element must be arranged in a certain way. You don't just put them randomly. Okay, so I'm just trying to say, even though this concept of layout might sounds like a limitation, but there is freedom um out of it. Okay, I hope I didn't make that too long. I take too long to explain a simple concept. Okay, but as a designer, you've got some controls, and those controls, those some level of restriction, they are giving you freedom. Okay, so this is a layout. As you can see, number one, we can say this layout is more like it's centered, okay, in this actual design, and also it has maintained a balance. So if we can divide our screen into here, we can see this is a section and this is also another section. We can say it has got two sections. Obviously, the section on the left has got some subsection. That's not much of a problem. Okay, so this layout, it doesn't have to be like this, it can be like this. Okay, okay, it can be like this. Okay, okay, so as a designer, you must have a good sense of a layout. Okay, so as you design obviously, one might argue that you can come up with a layout before the content or before you actually design. But based on my experience, I did try all the technique. The one that I found to be working is that you cannot predefine a layout. Okay, a layout is dependent on the content. Okay, for instance, I might have a layout like this, but what if here the client wanted me to fix like to fit in like 1,000 words here, and then here he wanted me to fit like 1,000 pictures, and somewhere in the middle he want a vector image or an icon that will occupy almost like 50% of the screen. So as you can see that based on the content that I'm bringing in, I can achieve this cool, clean, and spacious layout. So according to me, the content some sort of has got a big impact. It plays a lot of role in the layout that you are going to come up with. But what is important is to understand the layout and the layout principle. Okay, with that being said, let's continue. Okay, so Now you are almost like ready to design your business card. Okay. Now what we are going to do here, the approach is not like we are just going. Remember, we want to learn. So we are not going to create some sort of favorable scenarios where it's going to be easier for us to design, because in real life that doesn't happen. Okay, I thought I was not recording. Sorry for that. So in real life, that doesn't happen. Okay, in real life, you more especially in printing. In fact, I think even in other aspect of design or other design fields. Okay, you are driven by the client kickstart the whole process, so the client is king. So in most cases, even though one might think that okay, it's all about design, it's more like an art, I do what I want, that's not the case. You don't do what you want. Clients, they always come up with difficult and complicated requirements. As I have told you, that the client might want 60,000 words here and 50,000 images here and 100,000 vectors in here. Okay, and that's what they want. And if you are a designer, that means you it's not like an art. You are not expressing yourself, but you are solving a problem. So that is a problem that as a designer you must solve. So we are not going to create favorable conditions, scenarios. Hence I brought here different type of pictures. I'm going to try to always come up with a some sort of a certain problem that we must solve. Okay. Okay, with that being said, let's get ready for designing. Okay. Okay, now the first scenario will be, okay, the first scenario will be we have to design a business card without pictures. Let me start there. Okay, we have to design a business card without pictures. Okay. Okay, so that means there is something that I can delete here, and then that one I think also I can delete the one that I locked this thing. We don't need now. Okay, so now we are designing a business card, but the client just told us that, look, I don't have much information. Okay, looks like there's some sort of a disturbance. Okay, let's just continue. If I got disturbed, then I'll just pause the video. Okay. So the client come and say that design a business card for me. Okay, I wanted to have my name and a number. And maybe when we ask him, maybe he said, I'm just a designer. But very funny that a designer might want a design. That's not cool. So what we want to do now, we just want to create a business card for a client. Let's say he's having a construction company, let's just say. Okay. Sorry for that disturbance. Okay. So what we are going to do, the first thing that is very important, guys, I can't like explain this the other way. This is very, very important. Colors. Okay, colors are very important. That's why here I've got some sort of different pictures. Some of these pictures I'm going to sample the colors. This is what I would advise you as a beginner. This is something that is still working for me. Okay, at this point in time, don't come up with colors from your own head or from your own mind, or colors must not come from you. Always have some sort of an inspiration for colors. Okay, let's take this one. Okay, so colors plays a very, very vital role in your overall design. Okay, so what I noticed, even me, when I was still an upcoming designer, okay, I will first of all use solid colors, and also it will be some sort of ugly colors. Okay, so this is I will do something like this. Okay, this is what I will do. Okay, I will do something like this. Okay, and then from there, if I'm adding a different color, this is what I will do. Okay. Okay, if I'm adding another color, CV. Okay, if I'm adding another color, this is what I will do. Okay. Obviously, as you can see, these colors, they are not in harmony with each other, and also they are just solid colors. Okay, number one, okay, rule number one, don't take colors from your own mind. Don't come up with your own colors. Always don't feel like you are, what can I say, take it as a limitation, take it as something that you cannot do, okay, until such time where you can. Okay, so what I usually do, I always take a picture for inspiration. Okay, I'm going to introduce a new term which is called color palette. What is a color palette? A color palette, for now, just treat it as three main colors that you are going to use in your design, not more than three. Okay, two might it's the minimal the better. Okay, so it's like two or three. Okay, let me just give you an idea of something with only like two colors. Okay, as you can see here, it's just, oh, okay, the logo has got some shades. Okay, okay, but two colors were going to work here, the background and this strong orange or red one, it was going to work. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, so a color palette, just treat it as like three colors that you will use in your design. Okay, so let's just duplicate this. Okay, so the first color that we are going to use is going to be the background color. Let's sample. Okay, this is how you sample. You click here. Okay, okay, as you can see, there will be this bucket, and you go here and you put here. Okay, that's it. Okay, and the other color that we are going to choose, it's this one. Okay, more or less like this one. Okay, and the last color that we're going to choose is this one. Okay, let me highlight and press E, and then go here. Okay, and remove by right clicking. I'm just removing the borders. Okay, as you can see, I've got my color palette. Okay, okay, I have got my color palette here. Okay, remember the problem that we're having is that this guy didn't give us some sort of pictures to work on, and also he didn't give us the some sort of vectors. We're not allowed to use icons and whatever. So I think this part of design, it's typography, where you are using more like text, okay, to communicate a message. What's the first thing that we are going to do? We need to create a background. Okay, obviously, I'm going to make my life simple. I'm not going to change things. I'm going to almost like copy this theme. Okay, this theme, meaning that my background also is going to be this color. I'm going to play around about these colors and these colors, almost like similar to this one. Okay, there is a reason for that. Okay, the reason why you must always do that, you must always look for some sort of shape like these just to sample colors from. Okay, you want to learn a lot of things about color theory, which color works well in the background. Okay, the darker your background, the more your design will look professional and more or less like formal. Okay, so those are the things that I want you to learn from sampling colors from different pictures from the internet. Okay, so let's do the background. So I will double click here. So what I will do, since all my colors are already here, so this is a document color palette, meaning that as I add colors here, I will see them here. Okay, and these ones, they are the default colors. Okay, and also remember, since we are designing for printing, it's very important to always check that it's these colors are CMYK, it's not RGB. Okay, as you can see here, I think this is RGB, as you can see here. Okay, this is RGB. The reason is we have sampled this from this RGB. Okay, so how can we solve that problem? Because in printing we don't work with RGB, we work with CMYK. Okay, also you will see that there is a difference between CMYK and RGB, even though the difference is not that much, but sometimes as small as it is, it becomes noticeable. Okay, so we are going to see that now. This is a sample of the RGB colors. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to use the quickest approach to this. Okay, I'm just going to convert I'm going to convert this picture into a CMYK image so that I can sample the CMYK image. Okay, so I click here, go to bitmap, convert to bitmap, and then I will choose CMYK here, not RGB. Okay, so if you choose CMYK here, it doesn't have to be transparent, and click OK. As you can see, now the colors are not the same. Okay, as you can see, so this is a CMYK version of this. Okay, let me sample these. Okay, duplicate. Okay, duplicate, come back here. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click here. Okay, or let me do it the way I did it before. Okay, click here. Okay, and then click where. Okay, I think this one was more or less like this one. Okay, and then I am sure this one is this one. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, as you can see here, these colors, they are CMYK. As you can see, this one, it's RGB. So we want CMYK. Okay. Now, what I'm noticing is that it looks like this color and this one, like it's not like the same. It's a little bit off. Obviously, since we were converting the pictures, it might happen, something happened there. But I hope you can see that there's a difference between a CMYK color and an RGB. So also it's very important to highlight to the client that all colors will be in RGB. Usually in printing, we've got these some sort of rules that we write in our invoices. Please note that there will be some sort of a pre-processing in terms of colors, so colors might not look exactly. We always have those warnings so that the client cannot come and say that the colors are not the same. In most cases, more especially in vehicle wrapping, we always print a sample of the color as to how is it going to look like, because they've got their own brand identity, they've got their color code. So we are going to print a sample of the vinyl and they must approve, and we keep that sample. Okay, enough about that. Let's continue. Okay, now our background is going to be this color. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, and remember what our challenge is: to create a business card without icon, without pictures. Okay, as you can see, I'm happy with this background, but this background fits the edge exactly. Okay, that's not what we want. As printers, we want a bleed. So we are going to push this up a little bit, this up a little bit, up a little bit, and up a little bit. Okay, now we know that we've got the bleed, so the finishers can trim like somewhere here. Okay, can trim this business card here so that it can the ink can be almost like somebody can feel like the machine printed and it also reach the edge. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so the first tip was number one, don't use the colors from your own mind, don't come up with your own colors. And my tip number two will be always use shades of colors. Okay, always use gradients. This will help you as exactly as this has happened here. Okay, so professional designers, they always play around with gradient, and also your gradient must be subtle. Okay, like must not be strong, must be some sort of a subtle gradient. Okay, so what we are going to do here, um we are going to, as I've said, that this color doesn't look more like navy like this one, it looks like brown. That's not a problem. I'm going to mix it. Okay, a little bit. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, zoom in here, zoom in here. Okay, to me looks this looks like more like brown, and this looks more like, I'm not sure if it's navy or, yeah, it's navy or purple, I'm not sure. Okay, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the CMYK one and put it on top of the RGB one, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this so that I can work around this CMYK color, looking for this one, the one that is closer to that one. Okay, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay, I think we are almost getting there. Let's shift the color wheel to this side. Okay, let's see. Okay, now the problem that I'm getting, this is not instant, so I must always, okay, let's see, something like this, and then darker a little bit. Okay, I want this, but okay, let me make it darker. Okay, okay. Let's just leave it here for now, just for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, just for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, let me just check, is this CMYK? Yes. Okay, so now what we are going to do, let's see, is it a noticeable difference? Yeah, as you can see that, let me center it. As you can see that, you can see that this color and this one, it's not the same. I like that. So what we are going to do, we are going to add some sort of a gradient. We are going to mix this color and that one. Okay, how are we going to do that? We are going to use it's been a while since I've been in Corel Draw interactive fill. Okay, and then you click on this object, and then you do like this. Okay, as you can see, it's this color and white, and if you want to change this white, you click here, and then obviously you go here, you take this eye picker, and then you sample this color. As you can see, now we are having some sort of a mix of colors. Okay, so the idea here is that one must not notice where the first color is starting and where it's ending. As you can see here, we can notice a little bit. Okay, so so let's do it like this so that it can stretch a little bit. Okay, we'll go down a little bit, go down a little bit. Okay, okay, let's see. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let me bring more of this. Okay, this is more like 50-50. Okay, one last thing. Okay, bring it up a little bit. Okay, 100%. Okay. The idea is that even you, as soon as you get confused as to which color is which, then that means you are winning. Okay. You are now becoming a professional designer. Okay. The next step, let's give this guy a name. Okay. Now we are introducing the text. Okay. So the first step was to never come up with colors from your own mind. That means sample colors from something. Number two, always use gradients, some sort of shades of colors. Okay, because in real life, colors are not just solid. Remember, there is the sun, there is some shadows, high intensity, low intensity. So the more you have some gradients, the more your design will look professional and also will be appealing to the eye. Okay. So first of all, don't use colors from your own mind. Sample the colors. Number two, use shades. Okay, shades of colors. Use gradients. Okay, and then now let's just continue and get into typography. Okay, my third tip will be contrast. Okay, there must be some sort of a high contrast in your designs in a way. Okay, so let's say this guy is Matthew. Okay, which is my name. Let me make it capital letter. Okay, okay, this guy didn't give us much information. He didn't even give us his company name. Okay, so that's the problem that we are solving. So I think my approach here is to make his name dominant, so that somebody can easily understand that they are dealing with Matthew. So let's say maybe I'm not sure if there is a construction freelancer, but he's just, what can I say, a handyman or something like that. Okay, he's being hired by family, friends, and members, and then he will come and do whatever construction work for you. Let's just call him a plumber. Okay, Okay, so as you can see, we've got his name here. Okay, so the reason why this is white, okay, it's more like what can I say, it's creating a contrast with the background. Okay, so and also I have made it white, and also I've made it bold. Okay, so as you can see, this is right, or it's somewhat okay. Okay, but it's not like 100% okay. Okay, so what we want to do here, we need to create I'm not sure what's this technique, what can I call this technique, but this is what I use to do when I'm dealing with business cards that doesn't have a logo. I need to create an illusion of a logo. Okay, an illusion of a logo, it's some sort of a tweaked text. Okay, but when you look at it, it feels like it's a logo or a brand identity. Okay, let me just quickly do this so that you can see what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what we are going to do, I'm going to remove this E here. Let me in fact cut it and then put a space there. Okay, let me just measure where it ends. Okay, these are the guidelines. We use these for that. I'm going to measure where it starts and where it ends. Okay, where it starts and where it ends. And also, let's say, okay, this one starts here and this one ends here. Okay, so when I'm adding this gap, at least it must be more or less like this one. So I'm going to take out this one, then I'm going to put a space here. I think this one will work. This space will work. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me just duplicate this. Okay, in fact, let me just press E here without anything. And then what I want to do here, okay, there are many ways to go about this, but I'm going to choose the easy one. Okay, I'm going to choose the easy one. What I want to do, I want to some sort of create some rectangles here, more or less like these ones. Okay, this is the first one. Let me change the color for it. And when you want to remove this black border, you want to remove it, you go to, just like when you are right clicking to change the fill. Okay, if you want to work with the border, okay, you go to this color again, but you right click as if you want option, then you will change the border in terms of the colors. Okay, so if you want to remove it, you click here. Sorry, I want to remove the border, click here, it's gone, and then I want this color. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this. As you can see, this is not 100%, but I'm not looking for perfection here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, I hope it's duplicated. Okay, let me Control CV. Okay, take it down. Make sure I press Shift key. Okay, let me say, okay, let me take it here and then press Shift key so that I cannot move. Okay, press Shift key here, Control CV, press Shift here so that this cannot move sideways. Okay, push it down a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this rectangle, press shift, control, select, press shift. Okay, press this one, press shift this one, and shift this one, and then I'm going to align these by pressing C. That means I'm aligning them center. As you can see, everything it's aligned, and then I'm going to group these. Okay, group these and zoom out. So I'm going to replace my E with these bars. Okay, so remember, here we are creating some sort of an illusion of a logo. Okay, okay, this works well, but okay, zoom in. Okay, as you can see, the problem that we have now is that the gap, okay, let me use this zoom instead. Okay, as you can see, the problem that we have now, this gap looks small. Okay, like the gap between the words, it looks like it's not enough. Okay, it's not enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I need to push this W to here. Okay, so that it can give this E a breathing room. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this word, and then I'm going to click on this thing. Okay, as you can see here, we've got these small dots. Okay, I'm going to click one of those and drag. Okay, as you can see now, I'm moving this. Okay, then I'm going to go back. Okay, I'm going to go back, take this, then align it, okay, to where it was. As you can see, it was almost like here. Okay, then I'm done. Okay, so this creates some sort of an illusion of a logo. In fact, it is a logo, I can say, because this can be a brand identity. Okay, but you are creating it with some sort of minimal, like some sort of minimal effort. Okay, you just look at the name and see what you can tweak there, so that at least this um name or this word can like look interesting, fresh, and whatever. And then from there, we're going to choose one of these colors. Let me just remove this guideline. You click on a guideline, okay, like this, and then you delete it. Click and then you delete it, and then click and then you delete it. Okay, so let's see which one are we going to use. I think these colors are these ones. Okay, yeah, CMYK. Okay, then let's use this one. Okay, I'm happy with this. Okay, make it like this. Okay, okay, I hope everyone can read that this is Matthew, but a little bit stylish. Okay, now we are done with this name, and then we are going to rely on a some sort of layout techniques. Okay, what we're talking about now, we are going to rely on that here. Okay, so we've got Matthew. Okay, and then let's say, let's define Matthew. Let's give him some definition. Let's say Matthew the plumber. Okay, so let's define him, Matthew. Okay, let's put some capital letters, the plumber. Okay, okay, and then let's make this color, or let's make it a different color and see. Okay, Matthew the plumber. And then this is also another typography technique. I just forgot, is it canning or is it tracking? One of those words. Am I connected? Let me just connect to the internet so that I can be sure. If it's not canning, it's tracking, to put some spaces between letters. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click here, and then Matthew the plumber. Okay, okay, I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna click here, and then I'm gonna hold here, then I'm gonna do this. Okay, obviously when you do this, the space between the words starts to be equal, even if you had a space before. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there is a space between this there and plumber. You see, there is a space there, and you can some sort of see it. But now when you start to increase this space between your letters, okay, this starts to become one word. So what I usually do, I add more space, okay, so that you can some sort of, sorry for that, so that you can some sort of see what's going on here. Okay, what I usually do with these words, I always make them smaller. Okay, I always make them smaller. Okay, I like them when they are some sort of small, like more especially in terms of height. Okay, in terms of height, they need to be a little bit smaller. Okay, now let's see. Okay, I think we are getting there, even though the plumber is not as bright as, okay. Remember we said contrast is important. So let's see. Okay. At the moment, there's too much yellow, but it also at the same time feels like that yellow, it's part of the logo. Okay, this looks like more like a logo. I'm happy with this. Okay, I was hoping that this is going to span from here to here, but also I like the fact that it's more like centered. Let me see. Okay, let me group this and this. Okay, and group it. Where is group? It's been a while since I've used Corel Draw. Group, here is group. Okay, and then I'm going to click this one and this one. and then I'm going to press C to center them, okay, and then press G to group them. Okay, now that this is more like centered, okay, I think now this name needs some sort of more attention. Okay, I hope you are starting to see that this is becoming interesting. And remember, there is no lines, there's no shapes and whatever, it's only text. Okay, so I'm starting to get an idea of, can I give more attention to this name and put it in the center? As you can see now, because of this white space, this name, it's like it's popping, and also it was got a breathing space instead of it being at the top corner there. So what made me to change? It's those layout skills. Okay, I want to come up with a beautiful layout. Number one, when you look at this business card, okay, you know that Matthew is the plumber, right? We are getting there. If you get this business card, you're not going to be lost and be like, what is this guy doing? Is he a construction worker? Is he a designer? Now it's Matthew the plumber. And also the other thing that we have achieved is that we've created some sort of an identity in a way. Remember, this identity needs not to be intensive because the customer didn't pay you for the design. Okay, if maybe it happened that this looks like a mean, professional company, like a brilliant logo, we just have to just give it to the client for free. Okay, let's say now the client wants this as a logo. We are not going to give him. The only thing that we are going to give the client, it's a printed business card. He must go and redesign this logo, kind of a thing. If he wants it, then that's where we have to say, okay, fine, we can charge you at least a very, very small fee so that you can take it as a logo. Okay, okay, then the other thing that we are going to do, I like it when it's here. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce the contact numbers. The reason is I don't feel like we need the services because the plumber says it all. So now I'm just going to introduce the numbers and keep my design minimal. Okay, so let's just introduce the contact number um and the email. Okay, yeah, let's say Matthew the designer is contact Matthew at, okay, now let's just introduce the contact numbers. Okay, 076 This is just a random number. I hope it won't go through somebody. Okay, and then I need a pipe character. Where is it? Why I don't know my keyboard. Okay, it's used to be somewhere here. Okay, let me just leave it for now. Let me just create it. Okay, but I'm just looking for that straight line. Okay, I will create one for myself. Okay, let's just zoom out. Okay, the reason why I wanted that pipe character, I didn't want to take, okay, yeah, I saw it. I didn't want to take more time in this design because the customer or the client didn't give us more information, and this is just a quick job. Okay, and then let me put this and then space. Okay, and then we say Matthew. Okay, this is his email, matthew@gmail.com. Okay, okay, and then we make this white, and then let's center it, and then bring it down. Okay, okay, I like this. We are getting there. We are getting there. I like this. It's minimal, and then let me make this bigger. Okay, because I think I might end here. Okay, lift this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, center everything, press C. Okay. Okay, now let's just play around with the colors. Okay, there are too much colors. This is too yellow, it's too bright. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use this some sort of not pure white. Okay. Let's just see if we can make this gray a little bit. Okay, I wonder what's that. Okay. Let me make this gray a little bit. Okay. 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 I'm happy with this. What else that might be something that I need? Remember, we are not supposed to use we are not supposed to use any shapes. Okay, now let's work on the layout. Okay, as you can see, this is a print safe area. I can move my text down here, but I cannot pass through here. Okay, I need some sort of a nice padding around the logo. Okay, I need a nice padding around the logo. Okay, so my text can be there. If I'm moving this one up, okay, I cannot move it to this edge. Okay, so it must be almost like here. Okay, okay. Now I'm just going to I'm done with this business card, if I can be honest, but I'm just going to put a cursive font in between this font, and that's it. And that will be some sort of a catchy phrase. Okay. For instance, um, let's say best of the best, but it must be in a cursive font. So let's do it like this. Let's just choose a cursive font here, and then I'm done. Okay. Let's see, not that one, not that one, not this one. Let's see something like this. Okay, now it's starting to look too much beautiful. It's more like it's glamorous. Okay, I don't want that. It must not feel like it's yeah, it must not feel like it has got a saloon or beauty kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. Okay, let me just remove this and see if now what we are struggling with, guys, it's a layout. Okay, how you position graphic design elements relative to each other. So that's what we are trying to come up with now. For instance, I'm happy with this layout, but unfortunately, contact numbers are very important in a business card. So I must put the contact numbers there. Okay, I must put the contact numbers there. Okay, let me just center everything. Okay, press C and then group everything, and then press P to position everything into the center of my canvas. Okay, guys, this is what I came up with, and I'm happy with this logo. Matthew the plumber, best of the best, the contact numbers. Okay, so what can we learn from this? Number one, the contrast. Number two, less colors. As you can see, there's no pink, yellow, blue, white, red here. Okay, and then some sort of this is more like a sandwich in terms of the font family or the font type. As you can see, this is just the same font. I think it's Arial. Okay, this is Arial. It's straight. I think it's Sans, the type of the font. It's Sans font, it's Sans font. And then as you can see, this one, it's more like a cursive font in between. So it creates a balance. So this is more like a sandwich, as you can see. Maybe this best of the best is different. It's a polony, okay, in between two slices of bread, okay. By the same token, let's just put it in the center in a way, okay. Let's just make sure we center it. Okay, I'm using this rectangle to check the center. Or let me do it like this. Let me ungroup. Okay, ungroup. Ungroup. Okay, ungroup. And then from there, okay, let me click this one and center them. Okay, this word and this one. Let me center these. Press E. Okay, and then as you can see now, since these ones are centered, I can position all of them. Okay, so if this orange box start from here and it ends here, that will mean this is in the center. Okay, okay, that is very, very important. Now I'm happy the gap between this one and this one is more or less like equal. Okay, click everything. Let me press C, press G, and press P. Guys, I'm done with this. we are finished with the sample of a business card. I hope you are learning. If you like content like this, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Okay. We are done with this. I think let's end the tutorial here, since it's becoming a little bit longer. Okay, so now let's just prepare it for printing, and then we are done, so that we can at least finish this. Okay. Obviously, I would have loved to have some sort of used more of these pictures. Okay. Okay, now let's just create a version 2 of this. Let me delete this. Okay. Please always don't use too many colors. Always stick to few colors, and that's it. Okay. Don't use too many colors. Once you use too many colors, obviously you are showing us that you are an amateur, you are still new in the game. Okay. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, let's just create a different version, like different colors. Okay, as you can see, this color and this strong orange, I like these colors. Okay, so let's just sample these colors and see how it's going to look like. Obviously, these ones are going to be RGB, I guess. Okay, so we're just going to use them as they are, because I want to get these colors as they are. Okay, so let me just click this and then put this here, as you can see, and then okay, zoom in. Okay, I want this, click here. Then I want this to sample this one. Okay, then I want this too to sample this one. Okay, zoom out, zoom out. Okay, let's see how it looks. As you can see, okay, interesting. Okay, now what we are going to do, let's say now we are preparing for printing. Okay, now let's just delete everything that is here. We don't need it. Okay. Okay, I think we have we did well in creating a business card without any graphics. Okay, only making use of our layout skills and also typography skills. Where is my business card? Okay, there it is. Okay, so as you can see, guys, I've just deleted everything. Okay, I'm done with that. Now let's prepare the business card for printing. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got CMYK. As you can see, CMYK. But here we've got RGB. That's a problem, right? Okay. I created the problem on purpose. Now we are preparing for printing or for production. We want this to be a print ready. Most digital designers, they always send a business card that is exactly on the size of 90 by 50, and then they will say this is print ready. So when they send it to us as printers, we are going to tell them that this is not print ready. One mistake that I did, which is a problem, I didn't save the artwork. Very big mistake, because the computer can crash, a lot can happen. Okay, so please don't forget, this is the mistake that I did. Always save your work. Let's press Control S. Okay, maybe it's my computer slow? Okay, save as. Okay, for now let's just click nothing and save. Okay, always save your work. And then now let's prepare this for printing. Let's delete the pages that we don't use. Okay, delete the pages that we don't use. So we've got these pages. Okay, the first thing that we are going to do, just to make sure that everything is CMYK, which is in print production, things must be like that. Okay, you can't send an RGB to a printing machine. Okay, that's not acceptable. Okay, so to make sure that everything is CMYK, because when we are having a very big project, you might make a mistake, right, and leave RGB somewhere. Okay, so let's see how can we make sure that it's guaranteed that every color here is CMYK. So Obviously I said it's been a while since I've used Corel Draw, but I have used it long enough that I don't think I can forget it. Okay, let me go to edit. No. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to substitute the color scheme. I want to substitute any color scheme with CMYK. So it's more like Corel Draw is gonna do this automatically. It's going to check any element and convert the colors from maybe RGB or Pantone into CMYK. Okay. Now, where do I use to? I think I used to go to find and replace. Okay, find and replace. Yes, here. Okay, sorry for that. Find and replace. Okay, so it's more like your Microsoft Word find and replace a character or a word, but here with Corel Draw, you can find a color and replace it with something else, or you can even find an object. Okay, as you can see here, it's find an object. Let's say yes, I think it's find an object, and then from here we are going to at some point we have to click color so that we tell Corel Draw that we want to find and replace color. Okay, let me just play around with these changes. Let's click custom outlines. Okay, let's say custom. Okay, nothing happens. Overprinted outlines, Pantone fill. Okay, I am sure that it's find and replace. And I think, okay, let's start here. Find and replace an object. Yes, let's say replace. Oh, okay. Now I see. Oh, sorry. My mistake. We are not finding, we are only replacing. That's why. Okay. It was here as a default, so we are supposed to say we are replacing. Okay, what is it that we are replacing? As you can see here, we are replacing a color. Okay, in fact not a color necessarily, because if we are replacing a color, it means that we want this color to change to yellow or blue, only that color. That's not what we want. We want to change a color model or palette. Okay, as you can see, we want to change the color model or palette. We want to change the outlines and the fields as well. Okay, it looks like we can change one of those. Okay, it's fine. Let's change the fields. Okay, so meaning that the fill it's this one, the fill is this one, and the outline is this one, more like the borders. Okay, those lines. Okay, now let's change everything. Okay, as you can see here, it says any color model palette. We are changing it to what? To CMYK. So let's just zoom in so that we can see this when it's happening. Okay, also this will give you an idea of when we are converting RGB into CMYK the right way. Okay, not the one that we have used, convert an image into a, what can I say, CMYK image, and then we sample. Okay, here we are going to get an equivalent of CMYK of these colors. Okay, so when we are ready, let's say replace all. Okay, in 3 2 1, let's go. Okay, done. As you can see, this is a CMYK version of what you saw before. Okay, then we click no. Now we are sure that this business card, it's more like CMYK, and also this one, it's CMYK, as you can see. Okay, now we are done. Now let's prepare it for printing. Then the printer said, okay, give me a PDF version of the business card. Okay, the first thing will be obviously to go here, export or publish to PDF. Let's say export. Okay, and then you click here PDF format. We say Matthew, let's say PDF1. Okay, and then we click export. Obviously it will give us these what can I say, these settings. Obviously if you know nothing, you can just click OK. Okay, you will click OK, and that will be it. Okay, now let's go to that Matthew PDF1. Let's click on it. Okay, I don't have a PDF reader. Okay, what we can do, okay, let's just open it with this. Okay, as you can see, this is the business card. Okay, the problem is with this business card is that we don't have a bleed. So this is exactly 90 by 50. Okay, that means we don't have an extra space. Okay, so meaning that now we need to intentionally add that extra space. Okay, let's add that extra space. Okay, so let's go to PDF. Okay, now we're going to do all the necessary settings, okay, for like print production settings, okay, so that this we sure that is going to give us the best quality. Okay, export as PDF, let's say Matthew 2. Okay, and then what we want to do, let's click export. And then from then we start with general. We all want these pages, but in terms of what can I say, the type of a PDF, we need what do we what would okay, let me just check here. Okay, yeah, pre-press. Okay, here we just have to say pre-press. Okay, this will give us a, what can I say, a high quality PDF format which is ready for the press, which is for the printing. Okay, pre-press, let's click this one, and usually I think this has got, okay, yeah, document for distribution, yeah, I think this also has got what can I say, a big space in terms of the file size. It has got a big space. Okay, and then we are done here. Okay, we are done here. And then in terms of colors, okay, remember, if you might have missed something in the PDF in terms of colors, this is some sort of the best way to make it some sort of bulletproof to know that it's CMYK. Okay, so we come in terms of colors, use document setting. I think here we can choose CMYK. So this document is going to be CMYK. Everything that is RGB, it's going to be CMYK. Okay, and the other thing here in this document, okay, we are having fonts here. Okay, these are fonts. Okay, fonts are a problem because when you send this document to a different computer, if they don't have this font, then it might be a problem. Or maybe they are importing this to Corel Draw and maybe this font they don't have, then it's going to be a problem. Okay, so when you are preparing for print, you need, let's just check here on document if is there any other thing. No. Okay, let's just go to object. So here on object we need to convert all the fonts to curves, as you can see. Excuse me, export all the fonts to curve. Let me just show you the difference between a font and a curve. Okay, if we take this and click here, we can edit this. This is a font. Okay, but if we press Control Q, Corel Draw converts this to curve. So when you come here and try to type it, it's not a font now, it's a curve. It's more like a shape now. Let me double click and show you. As you can see now, it's more like a shape. It's like it's dead in a way. So even if you can take it to any computer, obviously it's a shape, so it won't say the fonts are missing. So that's the difference between the font and a curve. I think Adobe, they call this a path, not a curve. Okay, these are paths. Okay, so let's go to export. Okay, and then export. Remember, we were done here. Here we said we want CMYK, and then export all text to curves. Okay, and then we go to pre-press. Okay, when we go to pre-press, we add a bleed. Okay, meaning that now Corel Draw, instead of ending exactly here, it will add a little bit of space so that the size of this business card, instead of being 90 by 50, it's going to add 3mm bleed there and 3mm bleed here. That's 6. So it's going to be 96 by 56. Okay, then let's add the 3mm bleed. So when the printers are asking you what bleed have you added, then you tell them it's this is a print ready PDF. Sorry man, this is a print ready business card artwork. It's a PDF and with a 3mm bleed, and then they know what that means. Okay, and then let's just click OK. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, now when we go here, this one, I think it's gonna be this one. Why my Matthew has got a double A? Okay, this was the first one that we've renamed. This one we didn't rename. Okay, so this one, it's a little bit bigger. It's 3mm big around. Okay, it's bigger. And also now, this is not a font. This is a curve. Okay, these are curved. So when you take this to any printer, this can work very well. Okay, what else can we do in terms of the print production? Okay, let me show you that that document, it's what can I say, that document, it's a little bit bigger because it has got the bleed. Let's add crop marks. This is not advisable for you to do because printers know how to add their own crop marks. Okay, but in case maybe they might want you to add, then this is how you will add. Let's say Matthew. Okay, Matthew crop. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to go back here, CMYK, yes, object, convert everything, all text to curve, yes, pre-press, 3mm bleed. I like that. And then let's go to oh, where, okay, crop marks. Okay, as you can see, let's just click crop marks and see. Okay, go back, crop. Okay, if you zoom in here, you can see that the actual cut area, or the machine, when it cuts, it will cut here. As you can see, there's a 3mm bleed here, and when it cuts here, it will cut here. There's a 3mm blade. Okay, guys, I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. If you feel like this video has added value into your overall understanding of design and printing, please don't forget to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Obviously, as you can see that I've made a lot of spelling mistake. Okay, Matthew the plumber. Okay, as you can see, this is not like the correct spelling of the plumber. Okay, as a habit, okay, you must always check your work, proofread it, look for things, and then from then, so that you can go back early and make some amendments. Okay, so the first thing that we need to change here, okay, is to fix this spelling for plumber. Okay, make this plumber and make this plumber. Okay, make this plumber. And remember, once you make a spelling mistake as a designer, it's your own fault, not the customer's fault. Okay, let's change this and save our project with the correct name, Matthew, not Matthew with the double A. Okay, save and everything, and save everything. Okay, one last thing as a bonus. I think this is interesting. You want to see this. You want to see this. What if maybe you've got a small machine in your office or home, and you want to print 10 business cards in one sheet? This is very interesting. So let me just quickly show you that. Okay, so what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, because it's going to some sort of disturb us. Okay, so let's say now you want to print this. Okay, this is how we print from Corel Draw. Remember, I told you that Corel Draw, it's more like it's like it was coded or some sort of developed by a printer. Okay, it's very, very good for printing. It has got a lot of interesting features for printing. Okay, so you press Control P, obviously, and then you will choose your printer. Here, let's just click PDF. Okay. And then what we need to do, we need to click this preview. Okay. And then let's usually when we print in A3 in a we print in an A3. Even if you can print in an A4, that's not a problem. Let's just go back to settings and choose okay, the what can I say? Let me go here. Usually here you will see the drivers for your printer. This is where you can choose the paper tray, and also you can choose the paper size and print and choose A4. Okay. Okay. And then here it says match orientation. I don't want it to match orientation. Corel Draw matches. Okay, let's close this print preview. Corel Draw checks this orientation, which is its landscape. Okay, as you can see, I don't want it to match. I want it to be portrait. Okay, I will show you why I want it to be portrait. Okay, here this is portrait. Okay, let me click advance. Oh, okay, let's say this is where we are going to click A4. Okay, let's say this was our machine, even though to us this is a PDF document printer. Okay, let's click OK. And also here on your machine you will set your colors and your paper thickness. Okay. Okay, and then as you can see now, it's starting to use the printer's default. Okay, let's go to preview. Okay, now it's taking that A4 kind of portrait, as you can see. Okay, now what we want to do, this process, it's called ganging up. Okay, we want to fit 10 here. Okay, let's quickly do that. What do you do to Corel Draw? You come here to this paper in positioning, and then as you can see, this is the business card that we want. So you will click it, and then from then after clicking it, this is where you'll go to that column and the table. Where is it? Usually it's supposed to be here. Okay, let's see maybe what I've done. Oh, here is it. Oh, okay. Okay, once you are done clicking here, you don't have to click necessarily this. You go here and you increase this, as you can see. Okay, as you can see, 2 by 5, it's 10. Okay, if you want to see your cards, you go here. As you can see, here are they. Okay, and then from there, okay, you go here again, and then what you want to do, you want a space. Let's say if you want a space between your business card, you can put that space here. Let's say it's 3 mil. You want a 3 millimeter space in between, which is more like your bleed. Okay, then you go back to see. Okay, now in terms of the crop marks are going to be like what can I say, 3 millimeters inside and 3 millimeters inside for the guy who's going to trim, so that when they are trimming it, then you will get the actual size. Okay, so this is more like the bleed that we're talking about. And then from then you will come here and you add the crop marks. Okay, am I able to change the color of the crop marks? No, this is color calibration, not that. No, it looks like at the moment I cannot change, but I think I used to change the color of the crop marks. But let's put the crop marks anyway, and then we'll just have to look. As you can see here, the crop marks are black. Okay, and then from then you can go ahead and print your business card. As you can see, guys, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 business cards. You can just print them. Okay, let's just click print. Obviously, it's asking us, let's say business card print, asking us where do we want to save this, and then you can click here. Obviously, if you have a machine, now your machine will start making noise and then it will print the paper. Let's go back here. Okay, let's look at BC print. Let's open it and see. As you can see, here are your crop marks. Okay, if you zoom in here, it's 3 millimeters from the actual edge. As you can see, there's a crop marks, and also it's 3 millimeters from the actual edge. Here is a crop mark. Also here, this is the actual line where the machine is going to print. As you can see, this is a 3 millimeter gap and this is the actual line, same as here. Guys, I'm Matthew Singati, the designer and developer. If you like content like this one, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you on the next one.